Thank you for joining me this evening here in the state of Minnesota. It is about 1:51 p.m. and about later on time in East Africa, Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya as well. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm sorry I was not able to share this with my other groups, but anyway, I'm here, and we're going to do a show. By the way, I'm working on some audio stuff. Don't mind what I have on my neck. I don't know if my audio is coming out good. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? The usual audio, nice, clear? Give me the thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why this thing doesn't want to clip, but I'm trying to clip this thing on. But I'm working on a new audio thing. I don't want them to be close to each other because it's going to create a weird sound. So thank you guys. I got some few things I need to talk to you guys about. One, I'm going to be talking about Minnesota politics, and also I'm going to ask you guys. Oh my God, this is so annoying. Anyway, I guess I'm wearing the wrong polo. I am going to be talking to you guys about the Minnesota politics. Shall I talk about Minnesota politics and what's going on in Minneapolis? Also, I'm going to be talking about Kenya, and also I'm going to be talking about generally one part plan of my what my idea is to solve the problem of water shortages in Garissa County. So I have a plan for that, and I hope I can share with you guys. And hopefully we can come to an agreement. And then the third thing is I want to hear from you guys. This is not just about me today. It's not about Haji talking today. I want you guys to ask questions and see if we can answer them together, and we can talk about it and hopefully have a boiling point where we disagree, or maybe we can agree. So today, I'm the only thing I prepared for you guys is to talk about what's going on in Minnesota, a little bit of that. There is a news, and before I say suspect, I'm saying there's a headline news. If you guys want to go check that out, U.S. Customs official sees giraffe feces from a woman at Minnesota airport. U.S. officials seize giraffe feces from a woman at Minnesota airport. So there's a woman that went to Kenya, and she was coming back, and she was selected at the point of entry at Minneapolis airport. You know, for those that travel from Kenya or everywhere, if you come through, yes, that's funny, yeah. If you come through the airport here in Minneapolis, there's a process. Of course, first of all, they usually like to select Somalis. You know, they kind of choose who to inspect, and mostly Somalis really get selected on by the U.S. border control border agencies here in Minneapolis airport. They usually like picking on Somalis, whoever they are. Me too. Anybody that comes through that airport, you're Somali, you're from Kenya, Somalia, Turkey, Europe, wherever you are, they usually come and see you. They already know you're coming anyway by the name, you know, on the manifestos that they have. Manifesto. So this lady was selected, and they found giraffe feces in her luggage. Yeah. Federal Customs agents. It's funny. Federal Customs agents poo-pooed the plan of an Iowa. I'm glad she's not from Minnesota. So she's from Iowa. She was just coming through Minneapolis airport. I am glad. But she's from Kenya though. She was traveling from Kenya. So I don't know who it is. I don't know if your culture is making bringing giraffe feces. Let me know, please share here. I would like to hear from you guys. So Federal Customs agents poo-pooed the plans of an Iowa woman who wanted to make jewelry. She wanted to make jewelry from a giraffe feces. She wanted to make jewelry from giraffe poo. Like, I don't know how you do that. And by the way, where I come from, Ijara County, the Ijara County I come from, we have a lot of unique giraffes, by the way. Very, very unique species of giraffe. So, hey, guys, something to think about. Whatever, if you're watching me and you're from Garissa County or Ijara County, maybe you should be collecting those feces from the giraffe. Don't kill the giraffe. Don't harm the giraffe. But you can collect the poo-poo. And let me find out what she can make out of that poo-poo. And we have to find out what she can make. Maybe it's an expensive jewelry from the poo-poo, you know? I really want to know, like, what can you make? What kind of jewelry can you make from a giraffe poo-poo? Like feces. I would like to know. This is curious. And this is a business idea, man. I'm telling you. And by the way, you can import the giraffe poo-poo or feces into US. All you need is a permit. It says here. So when the woman walked into the checking point, the inspection point, she declared the small box of feces when she was selected to have her belongings inspected upon arrival and at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport on September 29th, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Gabriel, my phone is far away from me. It's so far away. I have to get up and I don't have a remote. And this is the best setting I can have during live. I just have to get up and accept you. But give me a minute. Let me finish this. Just be patient. And so the woman who was not identified, she was not identified. She has not been identified yet. Told officials she planned to use the waste to make a necklace. There you go. Necklace. And she has done in the past with a moose poop. So you know what a moose is? A moose is this big, like, how do I say? I'm looking for the right word. Let me think. I want to compare it with something from Africa that you guys probably are very familiar with. A moose is an upgraded version of not a gazelle. It's an upgraded version of a hirola. I mean, hirola. You know how hirola, but oversized antlers, like this big. That is a moose. It's only found in North America, right? Canada and USA. And they got this big, and it's tall. It's like six feet. It's huge. I mean, this thing can crush you. And so this woman was using she was using moose poop to make necklace. I mean, I want to sit down with this lady and really want to know what kind of talent this is. What else can we use for poop, guys? What else can we use for feces? It seems like there's a lot of businesses we are not aware of and opportunities out here that we're not, not paying attention to. Things are right in front of us. We need to know. So guys, just about to let you know that also that the giraffe poop can be brought back to the US with the proper permits and inspections. So you can't bring a giraffe poop or feces. Other man, Hibo, I say other haka hadal. Okay. There is a real danger with bringing okay, and here is the statement from the U.S. Custom and Border Protection Agency. They said, and that's why you must get a permit, and you must be inspected. So this is what the Border Protection Agency said. There is a real danger with bringing fecal matters into U.S. There is. Because these fecal matters or feces or poop can bring African swine fever. It can bring classical swine fever. It can bring Newcastle disease. It can bring foot and mouth disease. And also swine vesicular disease are among the elements in Kenya that custom cited as risk. So these poop feces, giraffe poop feces, can have diseases that can be new to the state of Minnesota, basically, or Iowa. And once they spread, they cannot be controlled. There's danger in that. And that's what they're saying. And so, Hibo, I didn't get you. The last one I can't read. But like I said, this is the best setting for my phone. I love this. I would love to accept you guys' request to join me. I'm going to figure this out. So just give me time. I do have a remote here, but I don't know if it works or not. I don't think it does. I've tried it. But I'm figuring out that maybe that's some new technology you guys can figure out on how, you can have the phone far away from you and bring in a guest on TikTok using a remote. Maybe there's another idea that someone here can go and can use this idea and invent something. In my show, you will always benefit something. I will give you an idea. By the way, just don't listen to my show. Listen to what I say also. And don't listen to my accent. Okay? My accent might mislead you. But really, what you must understand is what I'm saying to you is words that can really be beneficial to you. Whoever is always here watching this show. Trust me, you can come up with a crazy idea. I like sharing ideas. I don't like holding back. You know what? You know why I like sharing ideas? Because we only have a limited time in this world. And we'll be gone with those ideas. So if I'm not going to do the idea, I'd rather you do it. I'd rather you come with a plan and implement it. And the only thing I ask you is, if I'm not here and it becomes a reality for you, just to say, hey, I got this idea from Haji Daily. I should start exporting giraffe feces. Yes. Make sure you get the permits for them. Make sure you get a permit before you do, Tanad. You cannot just bring them in. That's what the U.S. Custom Agency is saying. And some of these things are very serious, by the way. You can get big fines, And this lady is she's going to be in trouble. I mean, I'm telling you, man, these things are very serious. So it can be really, it can really get really serious quickly, And so if you're going to bring stuff, then it's going to be tough. And another news I wanted also to share with you guys about Kenya as well. That recently there was a cabinet reshuffle. Cabinet reshuffle by President William Ruto, and he moved his cabinet around and put them in different positions. It wasn't much. It was a little bit of I say mini cabinet reshuffle. And so different cabinet secretaries who have been assigned to different portfolio. And so, come to think of it, one of the cabinet secretary that has been moved, who was Kenya foreign minister, the reason why he was reassigned or moved from his portfolio as a foreign minister was a touchy comment on the country police mission in Haiti. So Kenya foreign minister must have said something about Kenyan police forces going to Haiti. So let's find out what he said. Kenya Foreign Affairs Minister was moved to the tourism post Wednesday as part of cabinet reshuffle, days after the official said the country's police in Kenya-led Haiti peacekeeping mission will be deployed within a short time. Alfred Mutua's statement came shortly after UN Security Council approved the forces Monday and was issued before President William Ruto's statements. The president did not mention when the deployment will take place. So basically, Kenya Foreign Minister, Alfred Mutua was Kenya Foreign Minister, jumped the gun by announcing when Kenyan police forces will go to Haiti. And I guess the president didn't like it. Okay? Because the president, usually it's the president that says these things, And so, the country police, and also Alfred Mutua's statement came shortly after the UN Security Council approved the forces Monday and was issued before President William Ruto's statements. The president did not mention when the deployment will take place. Kenya, by the way, has committed to leading a multinational force to combat gang violence in Haiti, a plan that has been controversially locally and internationally is getting a lot of pushback. Receiving a lot of pushback. So Ruto, as foreign minister, Mutua was vocal about the Haiti mission, giving prospective deployment time and preparation that are underway. His counterpart in the Interior Security Ministry, where the police issue falls, has been quiet about the deployment. So Kindiki was quiet about the deployments. Mutua was vocal about the deployments and the plans and how they were going to go, how they were going to do this. Ruto now reassigned Mutua to Tourism Ministry from Foreign Affairs and handed the foreign affairs post to politician Musalia Mudavadi, who is the prime cabinet now, secretary or cabinet prime minister. No changes were made in the defense and interior security ministries, which are critical in the Haiti mission. So Alfred Mutua was making announcements before the president officially made this announcement. And also Alfred Mutua, I guess, was making so much announcements and sharing much information before Kindiki, who was the interior minister, was making this statement because he's the one who's in charge of the police, I guess. So someone jumped the gun and went ahead of the president, and now they got reshuffled and taken to the Ministry of Tourism. That is what we have for you. We have the custom feces and giraffe feces story. And then we have another story about Alfred Mutua being reassigned from foreign affairs to tourism. Man, I'm telling you, this is some interesting times. Some interesting times. And by the way, I forgot to press record on my thing here. But anyway, it's fine. I can always get the audio from the camera that I have here on here. But let's talk about also recently, for the people of Minnesota who are watching, and especially from Minneapolis, there's upcoming city council election. City council seats are up for grabs. A lot of candidates are running. Hopefully I'm going to share with some of the candidates with you guys individually, and where they stand on issues, and also where they stood on issues before and where they are now. I'll go to their website and compare the two. And so people of Minneapolis can make an informed choice. I'm very much invested in Ward 6, where Jamal Osman is the current city councilman, and the challengers, and also Ward 9, which I ran, by the way, in 2021. And also I'm invested in other city council races as well. But I have some friends who are also running for Hennepin County Commissioners. I have two individuals. I don't know if they're running under the same seat, but I think they're two different county commissioner seats, and I'm also supporting those two individuals. I am going to be sharing them as well. And and if you live in Burnsville, you know there's going to be an election next year, and a lot of people will probably announce, and we're going to be running. So I want to be what do you call kingmaker or a queenmaker, okay, whatever you want to look at it. I am going to do that. I'm telling you, I have a huge following here in Burnsville. I do have following in Apple Valley, in Minneapolis, and I'm going to say what I believe, and I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to say it. I know who is better serve this community, and I'm going to give my recommendation and my endorsements who I feel should be the one. Okay, queenmaker. Yes, I'll make it the queenmaker. It's a good one. You like that, right? Other than that, guys, now you can join the conversation. I have finished the two parts I wanted to share with you guys. Now you're welcome to join the conversation. And if you have nothing to say, or you got nothing, or any questions or comments about what I said, then I'm just going to call it goodbye, or kwaheri, or nabat haben accent, whatever you want to say. Mashallah, thank you for the info. You're welcome. Ussalam nakam. Thank you. You're welcome. But this is our show. You know, this is us. This is you and I and all of us here. And we take part in these conversations. But if you are in, I know I have a lot of followers in Ohio, in Seattle, and I know all over the world actually. And I do get messages that people say, "Hey, how do you follow your show?" I appreciate that. That means I have something to contribute. That's something I have an idea to give. That means that I'm here to make all of us better. I'm not here to show off. I'm not here, I'm here to make us better. So I'm vocal on issues. There are things that are important to me that I feel like if I don't say something about it, then and generally a lot of people are quiet. You know, they don't say much, and they don't do much. For me, I say a lot, and I do have every intention to do much more. I'm not just saying, and community is our community, regardless of how you look at it, whatever is impacting all of us, it is us, at the end of the day, who are, going through these challenges, the Somali American community, the African community, wherever we come from as immigrants, our Latino community, we have our challenges, man, and we are in a new place, all of us. You know, for me, I'm a first immigrant here. My children were born here. So the challenges we all face are the same, you know, and we always want to look for every opportunity we can get to be successful. And that's how I look at it, you know. You said you live in Burnsville. Do you move from St. Cloud? Yes, long time ago. Yeah, I used to live, I've lived in St. Cloud for almost, I lived in St. Cloud from 2005 to 2018. Yes. So from 2005 to 2018, I lived in St. Cloud. Three of my children were born in St. Cloud. One of my child was born here in Burnsville. So yes. But like I was talking about, there's these for me, some of these things, you know, some of the people, they play too much, you know, honestly. But I also want to talk about the African immigrant community. You guys have to be very aggressive on what you want in this state of Minnesota. You have to be involved in everyday process, even in politics, the political process. It's not running for office. It's the whole process. You know, we have few individuals who do that, and it's good for them, and it's good for us, for them to be in that position. But what I'm talking about is not one individual. We need, you know, an African issue discussed at the state level here in Minnesota. We do, you know, and more specifically, we need Kenyan issue, we need Somali issue, we need Ethiopian issue discussed at the state level. And people tend to individually, individual countries, they want to do their own thing. But I think we should really be collectively thinking about all of us, like, you know, coming together on these important issues. Legislation at the state and the Senate and the governor's decisions, some of these decisions that they're making. We cannot do anything or any changes unless we are participant in the whole process from the grassroots to running for office. Alaikum salam, welcome, bro. And so we have to play, as Africans, we have to play our role. Like we really have, I'm talking about parents. We have a huge African diaspora here in the city of Burnsville. I mean, I've been here and I don't see any movement towards, you know, advocating for their issues. There's a huge African diaspora that are in business here. They have nonprofits here. They are part of this community. They are homeowners. They're taxpayers, but they're not visible. They're not visible. There's a silence, you know, in our African diaspora community here in Burnsville. I have met a lot of people. I have met a lot of Africans. You know, of course, yes, granted, there's a lot of Somalis here in Burnsville. You know, but I'm also appealing to the African. It's not just the Somalis can do something. It's collectively all of us African diasporas from Kenya, from Somalia, from Ethiopia, from Ghana, from all parts of Africa that we can really look at what we want and changes that we want, and also policies that are about us. If it's lowering the taxes, if it's schools, if it's school boards, if it's city council, if it's you know, all these positions, right? Not only political position, but policies, and how do we advocate it for policies that we are looking at the best interests of African diaspora here? You know, how can we fight collectively? Because nobody is going to fight for you if you're not sitting at that table. Nobody is going to fight for you as an African. Nobody is going to invite you, by the way. So, but every time there's an election, they want you vote. They will call you. They will say whatever they want to say. I will only support you if you are rare orpha, my my brother. I know. I'm very much aware of that. I'm gonna have to make some. I don't know. I don't want to put myself in trouble, so I am not going to come to relieve the trauma of my 2021 city council election. I know, and so, but I'm beyond that now. Honestly, I think I've healed. I know the game. I know how it's played now. I've got a lot of experience, and so I'm glad I did run, and I got that wholesome experience of running for office. And I'm glad that I learned the Somali dynamics of clanism and politics and how they do things. I really, really am glad I learned that. There was no any other way. So as I said, running for office is like getting a 4-year degree, actually a 4-year PhD in politics, and the dynamics and little things, details that you probably will never come across if you will not have come across if you were not running for office. So it's challenging. And by the way, when people give up themselves and say they want to run for office, it's trust me, it's not an easy thing. You're away from your family, you're away from your business, you're away from your friends. Sometimes you're away from many things because you're out there campaigning, making phone calls, doing door knocks, trying to get money. You get to know who's your friend. You really get to know who's your friend too when you run for office. You really know who supports you. You will really know who's behind you. You will really know who wants a success for you to be to be successful. And so, but I am glad I did a very unique campaign when I ran for city council. And it's something I'm really proud of because everything I did, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just going on just my instincts, what it was telling me. And I was doing it. I know some of it. A lot of people have told me it was an amazing job that I did. And I ran my campaign on positive. I never was negative on my campaign. I never said anything negative about other candidates. I ran on a positive campaign. I was just focused on my campaign and little resources that I had that I put it on there, and that's what I was focused in. I lost at the end, which is okay. I learned. Everybody loses. There are more losers than winners in this world, by the way. But you know what? We're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep doing. We're gonna keep making it better. From my brother, I was just joking with you. I know you, but you had me going on there because I said, if you make a comment and question on me here, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to have that discussion with you. I'm going to talk about it. So I hope it's a learning thing for all of us. It's a learning curve for all of us. Like I said, politics is not easy, but like I said, I intend to be a kingmaker in the politics of South Minneapolis, and it's going to come. And so you just wait for it. And by the way, there's a quote. And I'm going to find this quote right now. And that's the one quote I want to share with you guys. I think it is, let me see if my brain works perfectly. I'll try and find it. Don't compare. Don't compare. Let me just give me a moment. I find this. Don't compare today. Let's see here if I can. Man, that is okay. Hold on one second, guys. I will get in. I'll get it. This is one quote I want to leave with you guys. Inspirational quote. I hope you share it. So here's the quote I want to share with you guys. Compare yourself to who you are yesterday. Okay? This is this guy I agree with him on some things. I disagree with him on some issues. His name is Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, like I said, there's some things I agree with him and there's some things I totally disagree with him, but he's a very, very smart guy. He's a clinical psychologist, and you'll find a lot of his videos on YouTube. And so one of the things that I got to know and I got to hear from him, listening to him on some things, is not compare yourself to who you are yesterday. And let me see if I can.
I want to get it right. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is.
Yeah, well, you got to improve. And you might think, well, I'm a real.
So you guys have heard that. I hope you heard that. And basically, he is saying it, right? Clearly, he's saying, compare again. I would like you guys to hear so you can really can hear from him this question that has been put to him. So listen again, and I want you guys to listen to very clearly, okay? 1 second.
Well, you got to improve, right? And
not to who someone else is.
Yeah.
Yesterday, not to who someone else is.
Yeah, well. Yep.
Just because I wanted to get it right. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is.
Yeah, well, you got to improve. And you might think, well, I'm a real.
Okay, you guys can hear that. And so I wanted to share with that. I think it's a very powerful statement. And so it's one of Jordan Peterson rules in that compare yourself to who you were yesterday. So yesterday, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. How was your day yesterday? How did you measure yourself yesterday? Do you own a business? Did you make profit? Ethically, by the way. Did you make profit ethically? Not illegally. We do have people ethically. Did you write a chapter, a book, or did you make notes, or did you do something, and that you're not doing today? And then also, do not compare to yourself where someone is sitting today. Clear example: you have people who have been like me. I'm a politician. This is important for me. This is a very good quote for me, right? It's a healing quote for me. It heals. Because this is how I look at it. You know, I ran for city council, and I really wanted to be a city councilman, right? I didn't win, which is okay. I'm fine with that, right? It's been many years, right? And so, a few years actually, not many years, but 3 years now. And so, and sometimes we are human beings, right? You see Governor Tim Walz, right? Serving as the governor of the state of Minnesota. And you're thinking, man, I wish I was a governor. But you can get there by start working on that today, right? Because clearly the quote says, compare yourself to who you are yesterday, not to someone else is today. So Governor Tim Walz is a governor today, but he's not going to be the governor tomorrow. Who's going to replace him? You. It starts now, right? And people tend to forget. You can be, remember the first politician elected in the state of Minnesota was Abdul Warsame. Was elected as a city councilman. Then we had Ilhan Omar as a congresswoman. Then we had Mahmoud Noor and Hodan Hassan. And we had Omar Fatah and Zainab Mohammed. And then we had finally and my good friend, a great guy, Samagab. And so from the beginning, if you had compared yourself with Abdul Warsame is an inspirational. So when he opened that door, when he opened, it became a flood. Everybody ran in and wanted to run for office, which is great. It's a good thing. And by the way, it's an amazing thing to see Somali Americans in political position of all levels in the state of Minnesota, from city council to Congress. It's amazing. Even though some of these politicians, I do not agree with them on some issues. I'll be honest with you. I do not agree, 70% of some of these politicians that have been elected who are in that position, I do not 70 is too much. I'll say about 40, 60. I do not agree with them. I believe they can do more. I believe they shouldn't have supported some issues, some policies, which some of them authored, by the way, and were behind it. But doesn't mean I hate them or anything like that. That's not what, it's just disagreeing. You can disagree. People can disagree. I am a Democrat, but there's some issues I care about. And there's some issues I don't agree with. I'm not going to change that. I will never change that position. It is what it's going to be, at the end of the day. But I'm not going to leave the party because I disagree with another different group or on what ideas they have. Because that group, what they're doing, is they're involved in the whole process. Remember, I was talking about the political process. If you really want your thing, your policy, if you really want your implementation of what you want, the community have to be really involved on a grassroots level. You gotta be working in the state capitol, volunteering in the state capitol, volunteering for all these candidates who are running or have been elected in office. Know the game. The game is long. This game is not temporary. And most of the Somali community is more like a pride thing. My clan has been elected as this. It's a prize. It's a clan prize thing, and which is unfortunate. It's a clan prize thing. So it's the price of having someone run for office and win. It's that clan that won. But these other people don't know that clan. Honestly, they only know Somali. At the end of the day, or they see you as an African. Don't see you further than that, right? And so it's like, it's my clan, someone runs so that my clan can have that badge of honor and say, I am the first Ogaden to be elected. I'm the first Majarten to be elected. I'm the first Dulbahante to be elected. But not looking at the general collective interest of the whole community. And that's something we should really pay attention to, right? Which can be really advantageous. It's good sometimes to an extent, but I think it can be extremely misused and misinterpreted by many people, especially when we have people that really misunderstand the meaning of state representative or the meaning of senator and other positions, right? It is. But anyway, like I said, now what I'm saying, my point the whole time I'm talking was compare yourself to who you are yesterday, not to someone else is today. With that, I finish my show. Thank you for joining me, Yusuf Haji at Haji Daily. We're going to continue having some of this great conversation, hopefully every day. My time is limited most of the time. I'm the daddy at home now. My wife traveled to Kenya and she will be back next week. So I might have more time with you guys and be on this show and hopefully at this time continue having this conversation. But I appreciate if you share, you tap, you like, and be part of the show. Very much. Thank you so much. And Mandek, somebody needs to find Mandek for me. We need to do another show, inshallah, soon. Hopefully. And we're going to grow from this. This is not it. Hopefully, I am going to be the number one podcaster who is this color and with an accent here in the state of Minnesota. Yusuf Haji at Haji Daily, thank you for joining me.